like if I'm too obvious with the title, then it doesn't go through. But to think that nobody gives a shit about if I put in the title shooting, false flag, blah, 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 and people see that and they, nothing. All the people that are normally here interested in these topics. It is late, though. I do have to admit it's late, and I don't think I'm going to be going much longer. I just wanted to end on this, I guess. You know, this it's what I started with when I went live for the first time today. It's that arrogance, man. The arrogance is just all around us. And arrogance is defeated by transparency. And it just shows you how little transparency actually exists. It's shocking. You know, imagine anyone else being as associated with a pedo, with covering up for a pedo, with you know, having said all the things, wishing Ghislaine Maxwell, I wish her well. That's all I can say is I wish her well. You know, like, when I asked if he had an age limit, he said no. Well, I wouldn't want to be caught fooling around with a 12-year-old like what's his name. Nobody says that. That's not the response you give to, do you have a limit? That's fucking weird. But especially him. The guy who laughed and joked about busting into the dressing rooms at the fucking beauty pageants where no men were allowed and teenage girls were getting dressed and shit. Like, that is... To then have this, where at the very least he's guilty of cover-up. But that's you know, that's your very best case scenario, which is completely unlikely. He is clearly guilty of many things. And the Katie Johnson story, like, all of it. Do you guys know that on March 2nd, 2020, Trump was scheduled for an examination because because of the charges that were levied against him. You know, he was the defendant in the Katie Johnson case, meaning it had enough legs to get to that point. And this is just one of so many. There are so many hush money payments given out over the years. It's just shocking. And if you were to say, like, you worked at Walmart or you worked at Bennigan's or you were at a law firm or wherever it was, and it turned out that the boss was so credibly associated with pedophilia, do you think that the owners of the company would be like, well, just get over it, keep working for that guy? Or do you think they'd pull that distraction out and be like, look, you got to prove yourself innocent on this one? Why is he still in office? He should have been removed a long time ago. And he should have been removed until he was proven guilty, or proven innocent. This is just too much. It'd be one thing if it was some out of the blue random charge. Somebody randomly says this thing and there's no credibility to it. Okay, well then yeah. But this is Epstein's best buddy. I mean, they were best friends. How does that escape you? How do you override that? How do you just say, you know what, that's okay, I'm still going to support the guy. Who does that? But I know that if given the opportunity, if somebody said, all right, guy, I want you to go to court and present a case for why we should be looking into Epstein and Trump and the Israeli connection and all that, I think without a doubt I could make a case. I just, there's no, and that's me, some dude that's just read some shit. I don't have access to all the files, but I think I could. I would make a case for. I don't care about these files that we're supposed to be talking. I want to know about who was on all of the tapes. The CIA. It's on Wikipedia. If it's on a page on Wikipedia that can't be edited, and it's that well known that they found tapes with the names of the people and the age and all that, why don't we know who's on those tapes? While all of this is going on, Trump takes a $10 million trip to Scotland to open up a private golf course. Cost the taxpayers $10 million. It's just, it's like, what are we even experiencing here? The fact is, it's 100% that Epstein and Trump were in cahoots, and then you just look at the Epstein narrative. This is the one that we're given. Probably his money, G. Really? You think he paid for all of the Secret Service men and all of the logistics and everything that goes into him? Come on, dude. How stupid are you? No. It was a $10 million taxpayer-funded trip. You think I'm making that up? Not for long. Only a few photos of him next to him. Yeah, only a few photos of him next to him. Yeah, that's all it is. Like, the fact that he is disassociated with all these things and then you still support him makes me wonder what you have in your search history. What secret files you have. You got proof. Yep, I got proof. I have access to all of the information available to everyone. And here, let me show you. But if you look at the narrative, if you look at what they want us to know, it sure is fucked up. Support God. Yeah, no shit, of course you do. Because you're a good little goyim. Wouldn't hold nothing on these Google phones. Sure. So do you just hear what he just said? Morning or afternoon? Did you hear that? He doesn't say, dude, that's fucking gross. I don't have anything on my shit. He says, I wouldn't store anything on these Google phones. That's what this person just said. I wouldn't store anything on these Google phones. See, if you let them talk, they out themselves. Right? These are the kinds of statements that this is, you're walking and you see some kids playing and your buddy goes like, damn, that's what just happened. You just have to see it for what it is. Right? I wouldn't store anything on these Google phones. what a weird, you know. And there is no, like, at this point, he's just going to keep trying to dig himself out of the hole. But you said it already, dude. You've already outed yourself. Yep. Now he likes his dudes with, would you like your dudes with shorter hair? Is that what you're saying? G? You like your dudes to have shorter hair? Probably a bit younger than me. Whiter skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, with 12, 13, something like that. Fucking weird, man. Like I say, they out themselves. He said everything but fuck you, man. I'm not a fucking pedophile. Go fuck yourself. Nope. Doesn't say anything like that, does he? So who do you think this is? Eight months, or joined 2 months ago, has 8 subscribers. Who do you think that is? About 2 months ago, I started pointing out the subscriber thing, right? Saying it's funny how so many of these profiles have been here supposedly for years and have no subscribers. Watch, they're going to start having more subscribers. Here you go. You know, when the mission statement of the page is that we need to kill pedophiles, we need to unify and overthrow the J control scheme, we need to stop the genocide that's taking place. And people come in and talk shit. Personally, I have to ask what the motivation is behind that. You know, I would think if you're just trying to troll, you could probably find somebody like talking about it till I went to the store, and blah, blah. You could find anybody. But that you would sit here and focus on the guy who thinks we should kill pedos and stop genocide just makes me wonder again, who does that? That doesn't seem like something normal people do. Your board, Y-O-U-R, doesn't even know which your to use because English isn't his first language. G, English isn't his first language. That or he's just stupid. It's one of the two. But you're gonna talk shit to somebody and call them stupid and you can't even get yours right. Come on. It's interesting how it works. These are the Trump supporters. As I said, the people who have something, you know, there's a reason why they can overlook pedophilia, association with pedophilia. If it was Obama that was associated, like they still talk about Michelle is a man and blah, 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 simply because Joan Rivers said it. Joan fucking piece of shit, not funny Rivers. Joan Rivers, if she wasn't what she was, she would have never been who she was. She was not funny. She's just one of those Jays who says like shocking things that most people aren't allowed to say on TV or whatever. And that somehow makes her funny. Howard Stern is another example of it, where that character isn't allowed to exist in a Goyim setting. Because if they did, then they would talk about them all the time. The only ones allowed to be like that are them. And Joan Rivers says that Obama's a man, or Obama's gay, and Michelle's a man, and that's, that's the thing that like has there's so much that has come from that little tidbit, that little one thing and then she died, so that means they killed her for saying it, blah blah, all this shit. Even though I believe every conspiracy possible. You guys are willing to put a nail in that coffin. It's 100% true. I bet all the money on it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be as disrespectful as I possibly can, and blah blah blah, because of what Joan Rivers said. Trump's been fucking charged. Trump's been found guilty. Trump is a horrible, horrible human being who says horrible shit all the time. Like, again, no, I don't have a limit. Oh, wait, I wouldn't want to get caught with a 12-year-old. Is it wrong to think you're to be more attracted to your daughter than your wife? If she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. Shit like that. Like, you're just okay with this. But Obama, even if Obama was gay and Michelle was a man, that would literally change nothing. The only thing it would do would prove that you guys are stupid, and that a gay man and a trans woman could do a great job at a job and trick you. Literally, that doesn't take away anything from the presidency. It doesn't affect you in any way. Nothing. Nobody's hurt by it. Nothing. As disrespectful as it is, of course, because only the black woman gets called a man. No other wives get called men, just the black woman. It's interesting how that works. And yet, again, Trump is so associated with all this shit, and you just overlook it. How? You're clearly quick to judge. You clearly don't require proof. You clearly are easily manipulated by what you want to believe. If Joan Rivers would have come out and said, oh, Obama's the greatest president of all time, and he's done so much good for everybody, blah, blah, blah. Again, I don't support Obama at all. I think Obama is the second worst president of all time, next to Trump. And that's hard to say even, but Obama signed the Monsanto Protection Act. That's not something any of you ever talk about. You talk about his wife's a man, blah, 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 blah. But nobody ever talks about the Monsanto Protection Act. None of you. Which was the worst thing anyone had signed until Trump signed the legislation that is now coming to fruition that is destroying the First Amendment, where he said all colleges and universities had to have a pro-Israel curriculum and actively remove any BDS or anti-Israel sentiment on the campuses at the risk of losing federal funding, which is now what's coming true. First Amendment. United States citizens are being arrested for talking about what a foreign country is doing. A genocide a foreign country is committing while using our money to do it. Our students are getting arrested. Our people are getting deported. All sorts of crazy shit is happening. First Amendment shit. Based on what a fucking pedophile is doing. Like, it's phenomenal. Epstein and Trump are the biggest distraction possible. There's genocide taking place. Trump's going to sign the next memorandum of understanding soon, which is going to give Israel $100 million over the next 10 years. $100 billion, I'm sorry. $10 billion a year. It's going to jump from 3.8 billion to 10 billion. Just watch. And you have these Trump supporters, these dumb white guys that are, the only way it makes sense to me anymore is if you have some skeletons in your closet that you don't want people to see. Whether you have it on your Google phone or on your computer at home or whatever you have the images on. I know a lot of people will think because they don't actively seek out real life children, then they're not as bad. All they do is watch videos. You're just as fucking bad, you piece of shit. Because you watch those videos are procured. They're made because of you. What's up, Craig? No, we hate both sides. France Prime Minister's wife just called a man, though she's white as snow. Yeah. I'm not talking about France. We have no problem making fun of France. We're so stupid that at one point, because France didn't support America going into Afghanistan and killing people, that we weren't going to call them French fries anymore. We're going to call them American fries. Oh, you guys are so stupid. Let me get some of those American fries. I don't want fucking French fries. Fucking, I ain't no French supporter. French supporter. Fuck you guys. Yeah. Way to bring up some obscure French thing when I'm talking about presidents of the United States. Again, you're still hung up on this Obama shit like it even matters. We're 3 presidents later, and you're still talking about Obama. 3 presidencies later. You're still talking about the black guy. You have, like, can anybody tell me what's up with Trump's eyes? Why does he look like an orange raccoon? That is such weird shit. What is going on? He literally looks like a supervillain. You know? It's the strangest fucking shit. But you know, the fact that anybody would still support this man. Like, I've said this time and time again, if I find out my kids have child exploitation materials on their phone, I'm calling the police myself. We could be best friends since birth. I find out you're fucking with kids, I'm calling the police on you. I don't have any room for that shit. I don't have any tolerance whatsoever for it. If all of a sudden, out of the blue, there's a whole bunch of accusations against you, and you're suddenly attached to a proven convicted pedophile while also being suspect yourself, and every time you talk about it, you say shit that makes me go, what? Who the fuck says that? I'm not going to just keep going, oh, well, it's my friend. I'm not going to believe it until till you see some video of it or some shit? Is that what it's going to take? I know for a fact that when a weird dude in the neighborhood is said to have a sketchy past, everybody just goes, "Yep, I can believe it. Yep, yep." Nobody's like, "Oh, that's not something you say to somebody about somebody." You got to have proof when you say that about it. Everybody's quick to jump on it if that person fits the bill. And yet when it comes to this one motherfucker, for some reason, you overlook it. This piece of shit who is facilitating a genocide, who is clearly an Israeli puppet. I gotta go. You have yourself a wonderful fucking day. Go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. Go watch Hollywoodism. These are the links that are going to be in the description. Hollywoodism, the most important video ever made. It explains everything I'm talking about right to you, right in your face. And it's made by them. It's not made by your Alex Jones or something like that. At one point, one of the Hollywood mogul descendants says, basically, you could say, in a sense, the American dream is the Jewish dream. Word for word. And, it's all about how this person always says this. If I was Jewish, why would I deny it? I just never understand that line of thinking. And are you saying it like it's a negative? I'm not really sure other than you're too stupid to make any real arguments, what is the purpose here? If I was Jewish and if I grew up in that cult and I escaped the cult and I now say the things that I say, I would have so much more credibility. I would have such a better leg to stand on if, in fact, I left the cult to be this person. I would be very proud of the fact that I left the cult. That would be something I would brag about. So I don't understand what the secret part of that is. Why would I keep that secret? And of course, there's not going to be an answer to that. It's just going to be more dumb shit because this is how it works. When you sit here and you tell the truth, Alex Jones has controlled opposition. I'm sick of that dude shit. I used to listen to him. Glad I got out of that. Right. I stopped falling for Alex Jones when he told me the market was going to collapse, pull all my money out. So I told my mother-in-law that. And I felt stupid afterward. And I started looking at him differently. And then I saw him at one of the things that was going on where he showed up to film it. It was some sort of protest. And you could see him like instigating, bumping into people and shit. And then claiming that he was under attack. Like he's just a racist. He's like a standard, I'm not racist, but racist. And he's been ignoring the Israeli problem forever. It's finally to the point where, in order to maintain his character, he has to say something about Israel. He's been avoiding saying something about Israel for a very long time. And so you have to pay attention to what he does. The thing he does on his videos so often is tell you he's going to tell you something really cool. He's got this really great thing he's going to tell you. This he's going to blow the secret off. But, he's going to tell it. He's going to tell it. And he just keeps reiterating that while then the commercials run. He's a very wealthy man who, in court, his lawyer said that Alex Jones was just a character he played. That's not who he really is. But he's absolutely controlled opposition. What do you think controlled opposition is? If it's not Alex Jones, if it's not somebody that keeps trying to steer you away from one particular thing. How Alex Jones still gets a pass after telling us to support Trump, it's beyond me. He was one of Trump's biggest supporters. He's one of the biggest reasons why Trump has such an alternative, appeal. Because guys like Alex Jones propped him up instead of exposing him like they would anyone else. Alex Jones, kosher conspiracy, everything but the little hats. Exactly. It's what he does. I always show this video, but I'll show it again.
The Jews, Mr. Jones, have inflicted tremendous harm upon the United States.
Well, let me ask you a question. From your perspective, should the Jews be gotten rid of?
Yes, they should. In every country...
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. I am Jewish.
There you go. I'm sure he says more. I don't really give a shit. But the fact that he doesn't let the person talk. And that's what you'll see in every single one of these. Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro. Oh, what I wouldn't give to wring that dude's neck. Ben Shapiro is such a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. He's such a typical, entitled, born with a silver fucking diamond encrusted platinum spoon in his mouth. He's such a prick. Just like his counterpart, his pinhead counterpart, Charlie Kirk. That dude is such a doofus. These guys can regurgitate a bunch of stuff that makes them sound smart. But then they try to rope you into circular arguments. There's a footage of the young black kid asking Charlie Kirk about Palestine, and Kirk's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Palestine doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And the dude's just looking at him like, what do you mean? Like, clearly there's a Palestine on the map. It's been there for a long, long time. No, it's not. The area's called Judea and Samaria. I don't know where this Palestine is. Palestine doesn't exist. And you just... It's like, and then because of its absurdity, you end up getting wrapped up in it. Instead of going, dude, be as stupid as you want. Call it Samaria, call it Judea, call it Palestine, call it Tiki Land. I don't give a fuck. There's a genocide taking place there. What about that part, you piece of shit? Kirk has Jesus on his side. Yeah, for sure. When the people that make the decisions either also believe in Jesus and don't want their stupidity thrown back in their face, or there's somebody who wants you to believe in Jesus because then you put them in the superior position as God's chosen people. The benefit is from the connection, not because you believe in the thing. You're not getting any superpower or any favor or anything like that. You just surround yourself with other insecure people, and the people at the top surround themselves with insecure people. Gotta have Jesus. They want you to believe in false gospel. Not the you and see the thing is your arrogance is gonna shine through because you know what the actual gospel is. Not the false gospel that you've decided is the false gospel. How do you know what the actual gospel is? I'd love to hear where this comes from. Oh, I know you are. I know you are, but what am I? I haven't figured it out yet. I know you are, but what am I? I haven't figured it out yet. Seriously, I want to know what makes you think you know the true gospel, the actual gospel. Where are we talking about here? Mm-hmm. Seems like it should be a simple question. Like somebody that's brazen enough to say that would be like, oh yeah, it's this. I'd be willing to bet nothing happens. He doesn't say shit. Giddy up, bop, bop, mow, mow. Giddy up, bop, bop, mow, mow. Come on, I gave you even some thinking music. Oh yes, the secret of life. Let me say it to you real fast. Yup, see? So he's not he's gonna say that he's not gonna say it. He can type that part out. And he's gonna say all the other shit he says without worry of me dismissing it. But when it comes to the secret of life, when it comes to the secret, the truth, he's gonna keep this one silent. Funny how they always do that shit. Isn't it funny how that works? You have your opportunity to express to the world and anybody that happens to see this how you know which gospel is the true actual gospel and which one isn't. And you're not going to say it because I'm not going to agree with you. Every single time. Isn't it amazing how no matter what we're talking about, it always comes back to the same fucking thing? They're not going to say it because of me. It's my fault they're not going to say it. If I was willing to just believe what they believe and believe what they say because they say it, then they'd be happy to say this thing. They say all the other shit, knowing I'm going to call them out on it. They don't care about that. This one thing is just off limits. It's not about which one is about the negative being told, or the it's not about which one is it about the narrative being told. It's not about which one is it about the narrative being told. Oh, okay. You just said, and I repeat, they want you to believe in a false gospel, not the actual gospel. You said it. Why do you have such a hard time backing up what you just said? I don't understand. You should. They're horrible. And they're the ones that give us all of this bullshit for us to sit here and fight over. Like again, you arrogantly know which things are true and which ones aren't. And look up is is so intimidated by what's happening here that they're literally just like, short circuit, I gotta repeat myself. Like, this is how this works. It's always them every damn time, every damn crime. It is. I don't know if you're kidding or not, but it is. Not every crime, but the major stuff. It's interesting how this always works out, you guys. for me, the person who's wrong, to consistently be so wrong, yet nobody's able to explain how. It's a weird feeling. It surprisingly leads to thinking, maybe I'm not wrong. Yep. Yeah, let's switch the topic, shall we? Submarines are an interesting topic. Go watch parts 1 through 9. I don't really care. I don't care if you believe me or not. I think there are much more important things like genocide that needs to be addressed. Bro, submarines are real. Arrogance. Here we go. Somebody's going to shine some arrogance through. They know they are because they're submarine experts. They have been looking into this thing for quite some time. They know the history of submarines. They can answer any questions. They know submarines are real. Funny how it always works out that way. Oh, we gotta spray that shit. There's a wasp nest. Anyway, I'm gonna bounce. You guys have yourself a great day. Free download www.the-bilderberg-group.com. Go get your free download. If you want to look up submarines and you want answers to your questions and you're truly curious, go look up Submarines Aren't Real Parts 1 through 9. I'm going to leave you with a link to Hollywoodism, greatest, most important film ever made, and 3 links to our Facebook page where music videos are. You can see the videos for Donald Trump Hates America, COVID sauce, and sleight of hand job. All good stuff there. I just don't care. You guys are hilarious. I don't want to live stream submarine titles. Yeah, 1 through 9. It starts somewhere. Have yourself a wonderful day, and most importantly, you pedophiles, kill yourself.